Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's episode, we are going to be talking about boxing, the traditional scene, and the influencer crossover scene. Everything new regarding what? We got the Garcia-Davis fight, the Haney-Lomachenko fight, what fights should happen in both.
Fournier.
Yeah, KSI Fournier. We're going to talk about fights that we want to see in both formats, in the traditional and crossover stuff, and some other things. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but yeah, before we do that, just favor guys, leave a like right now, subscribe down below, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are on the screen and down below. And I guess spoilers if you haven't seen any of these fights.
Yeah. I know you said it was the crossover YouTube scene, but I feel like at this point it's really not. I think it's just like
that's what they call it.
I know it's just like another like the
subgenre.
I don't even subgenre. It's just like another promotion. Like nothing makes the WBC like you know what I mean. Like they have whatever like, but not like the Misfits have to go through the fighting commission and stuff, right? They can't just like not the official. Well, they do something,
it's like a white collar, but they're all exhibitions.
They're exhibitions.
You have to adjust your mic a little more. I think you're a little too far.
Yeah, I don't know if it's crossover. Like I said, KSI just fought a real boxer. Jake Paul, even though he just lost, fought a real boxer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of them. I think Jake's gonna fight Nate. I think he's as close to a real boxer as an MMA fighter as he's gonna get.
Yeah.
So I think it's getting more main. I just
mine
think
is
it's
Connor.
I just think it's a
Connor.
Yeah, I guess. I know. I think Nate might be a better boxer than Connor. I don't know. I think if Nate and Connor box, Nate would win on sheer like stamina, gas tank. I think,
gas tank without a doubt.
Round 10 or 12.
Connor's gas tank is awful.
But Connor, I think Connor probably knocked Jake Paul the fuck out.
Yeah,
if I had to guess.
Fight. That's we're getting off. But no.
But yeah, just to close it up, I just think it's more a part of boxing now.
It is.
They can't say it's this stupid little things going on.
I will agree with that because now we got like Jake Paul's been on ESPN, been doing interviews, and since he made the upset, made multiple upsets until recently, people were like, all right, he's legit
and
now.
He applied some pressure to some of these actual boxers who aren't doing anything, who aren't being active, and Jake Paul's fighting 2-3 times a year.
9 times out of 10 when we talk about boxing now on TV, it's rarely the traditional sense. It's really Jake, or now recently since KSI has been active.
He's in they're in the top 10. It's like Tyson Fury, Tank, Brian Garcia, Jake Paul, KSI.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. Tyson Fury's not fighting anybody. The only thing traditional boxing really has over the Misfits and the YouTube scene really now are like heavyweights.
Yeah.
There's no really big dudes, and that's what people really like to see are the big guys fighting. The Misfits and the YouTube scene.
They're trying.
They haven't found anybody. No, it's hard to get those because the guys who are that big are like in the NFL or something. Yeah. Or like they don't want to fight because you don't want because then you got to go in there against another big old freak of a man.
The only time they actually had big guys fight was Hasim Rahman Jr. and Greg Hardy.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and those are two big boys, but like Greg Hardy's just nobody.
He won.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he won. I was surprised. Well, because Hasim was trying to get a knockout, and that was really annoying.
Oh yeah, now I do remember. Yeah,
because he was winning. He won the first round easy because he was outboxing obviously. But then Hasim got lazy, was trying to get a knockout, and then Greg Hardy just churned up the next several rounds.
Yeah,
and beat
the
NFL,
those NFL players are freaks. They would probably all be. No, I won't say all of them, but a lot of them could be heavyweight boxing contenders.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the only thing they really don't have on, if you want to call it mainstream boxing. I don't even know if that's a good word because I feel like Jake Paul and KSI are outside of Tyson Fury more mainstream than almost every other boxer.
Yeah. Garcia.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think Garcia's like on par with them. Like.
Okay, I see. I see.
Like, how many followers do you think Ryan Garcia's got compared to Jake Paul? Probably less. Close.
They're close. I would say they're close. But all right, so we'll go in order. With a lot when this comes to this fight stuff, obviously, we can get off topic and sporadic, so we're gonna do our best to stay on topic. This is gonna be a good episode. We got a lot of great topics, and like we said before when we did our last boxing episode, we want to bring this up because we both enjoy combat sports, and we don't want to do it too often. Maybe if you guys really do enjoy it, we kind of start doing smaller episodes or little segments or something. If you guys want to see it, just let us know. But let's start with what Sean talked about. Actually, no. He sent me a list. I want to save the matchmakers Let's get into some of these fights that happened. Would you rather do a traditional boxing or a crossover?
I mean, it doesn't matter. We can get them all. Was it Jake Paul, Fury, KSI, Fournier?
Yeah, so I was going to put in
Lomachenko and Garcia and Davis.
Yeah, so I just put KSI and Fournier first.
I watched that. Tom had been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
I had no intention of watching it until the fight day came. And
I was watching it upstairs.
Yeah, it was big news too. I felt like everybody was watching it in the world. And then, so I tuned in. I watched the whole thing. I mean, it was pretty quick. It was a second round.
Second round, halfway was like the first. It was like a, 4-minute fight in total?
Yeah, it was like, right in the
4 or 5
of the
minutes,
second round. On first glance, I thought he just hit him with a clean punch and knocked him out. Turns out it was a forearm, elbow, whatever you want to call it. So I didn't like that. The guy looked shook. It's weird when they say these guys are pro boxers. I guess the scene's just a little different now, but like KSI just a little more bouncy to me. He was all over the place. He looked like he was the pro boxer fighting the guy who was the professional. But that being said, you never know what's gonna happen. Like the YouTubers come out fast. They have to. They know they have to.
It's a different scene. I was talking about it with someone, and they said it's very different. Traditional, it's really ba 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 ba. They're looking to score points. With the celebrity boxing, whatever you want to call it, that stuff. They want knockouts. Everyone wants knockouts, so they always got to come out hot.
I don't know if it's the knockout. I think that's just their best chance. I think they all know that they can't out stamina a lot of these guys who've been boxing their whole lives, especially like Jake Paul. I think he's gonna be in trouble versus Nate. I know Nate's a washed-up old MMA fighter, and he's that's been his specialty as of late. But I think Nate's a different level of toughness. Nate's not gonna go down like those other guys went down, and the getting beat up only makes him stronger. So if Jake starts off hot, that doesn't even bode well for him. Like he's gonna have to knock him out early, or it's gonna be savage.
With KSI and Fournier, this guy.
Well,
I was gonna say for my side, what I thought of KSI, obviously way quicker than Joe. I remember the first round he came out, he landed like a couple jabs to the body. He didn't go crazy, like a little, but Joe responded like after KSI brought his hand back and he was out, and all three of his punches were like way past him. Like it maybe touched KSI's wrist or something like that, but the speed was insane. And I'm not sure if you saw that, but when we did like the side to side, like switching stances, I didn't like that.
Joe?
No, KSI.
He's just showing off, like you said.
Yeah, because even Joe caught him in there. Like, it interrupted it, I would say, with a jab, I think. It was a simple punch.
KSI is watching too much, like, Roy Jones Jr. and, like, Michael Venom Page stuff.
Yeah, he trains with MVP.
That makes sense, because he's got, like, a karate style.
Yeah, because he trains at Shoot Fighters.
Okay,
yeah.
That is. But
that's MMA gym in the UK,
MVP, that's where he changed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he fight, like I said, he's got a real karate style where he's bouncing up and down, and he throws like one punch and then gets out. One punch gets out. It's either straight or a jab or a little quick hook, and then he gets out. He doesn't really throw a lot of combinations. He's just trying to use his speed to his advantage. You could definitely tell he was way faster than Joe.
Oh, yeah, by a landslide.
But it's hard to tell because I feel like the pro guy is going to pick up steam in the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth round. And like, have we seen KSI go that far? And he's just like knocking people out. Besides Logan Paul, right?
I'll say that's it.
And that was like his first fight. And that was Logan Paul's like a freaking.
And that was he was heavier then
like,
too. Yeah.
And Logan just hugs you the whole fight. I know KSI was doing a little bit too, but if you watch Logan Paul fight Floyd Mayweather, he just grabbed him.
Yeah,
the whole fight.
That was so annoying. That was so annoying. I did want to bring up this because I know we had this discussion off screen. You were talking about KSI and Fournier should do a rematch. I disagree with that just because of the fact, no one wants to see it. Everyone on social
media. How did it do the original time? It did okay, right?
Yeah, 300K.
That mean people did want to see it.
Well, yeah, the first time, but we knew how it was going to turn out.
No, I don't think we knew. I don't think that's fair. I think to say like, oh, the first round he clearly won. It wasn't like 10-8.
No, what I was saying though was like I'm talking about like on social media, everyone who like is like in the scene, I would say, like I follow like everyone who's like actually in it, who's announcers and stuff like that, who participate in it. We all knew Joe was gonna be slower, but we knew how the turnout was gonna be. It was more than likely KSI was gonna get a knockout or gonna win, just because off the age and Joe did have the more experience, but it was really the age and the inactivity from Joe from the past decade. He's fought twice in the past 10 years.
That's like one less time than KSI.
He's fought 3-4 times in the past year.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like 2 or 3 times. Well, it's not like KSI's got.
Well, I'm saying like 5 in 10 years he fought twice. And one of the guys was
Ray
Ray
J.
They're
all everybody's like making excuses for KSI. Like,
no,
what do you mean? Like nobody wants to see it. Like
I don't want to see it.
If they wanted to see, well, if you wanted to see it before, why wouldn't you see it now? It was an illegal punch.
Well, yeah,
I
wanted to see the knockout that was going to happen, but I was like,
and it never happened. So you don't want to see it again?
No, I'm not going to spend my money on that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Because I saw how Joe performed too.
Well, but again, that's only 4 minutes of a.
But how slow he was. His speed wasn't going.
Like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen the guy fight. I only saw him right then and there. It might not have been slow. It could have been adrenaline. That could have been the biggest fight he ever been in too. Like. It could have been like he's slow. He's a slow starter. I don't know anything about this guy. There's plenty of people who are slow starters, and like I said, I just thought he was a pro. And to say like, oh, we knew what was gonna happen. Like, I don't know. Like,
I did. Well,
it took a forearm to knock him out. Like, it wasn't like he hit him hard with a real punch.
I knew just because of how KSI has been picking his opponents. Like a lot of people have been pushing. I will say too. He needs tougher opponents, and his last few have not been tough opponents.
I don't think Joe should fall into that thing because he had a nice first round. Like,
no, I'm just saying. I was like, it was just too slow. He needs like a prime, like a good, like Tommy Fury's a great one.
No,
but
he's
gonna lose him. But I'm saying, but the point I'm saying is, Tommy
Fury looked bad in the first round, didn't he? With Jake Paul fight?
I think I can't remember.
He looked bad. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know.
But like that was a closer 8. That's what I'm saying.
Because it only went 4 minutes. Like if Jake Paul would have. Or Tommy Fury would have knocked, or either one, Jake knocks him out with the forearm in the beginning of the second round, we all would have said, well, we knew Jake was going to beat Tommy. So it's like, we don't know what's going to happen.
No, that one was way different.
No, Jake dominated him in the first round. Not like that.
No, I'm saying with the lead up. The lead up was talking about that. Not even just after. The lead up, everyone said KSI was going to win, and I agreed. KSI was going to beat Joe regardless. And then after, we were like, okay, yeah.
I feel like everybody said Tommy Fury was going to beat Jake, too.
He did.
Or the other way around. I mean, Jake was going to be.
That was 50-50. That's what I was talking about. I would say it was hard to toss up.
I just think it's to me, it seems like you're cherry picking. It's like you didn't even beat him fair and square to move on and be like, oh, I was going to beat him anyway.
Well, a lot of people aren't interested now. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's what I'm saying. You're right. You can't say you can't say in the Joe Pro book that you can't say you don't want to see it again, even though people saw it, but. If they saw that, like, it wasn't really that entertaining, so to speak, the majority of people aren't going to buy it again.
I guess I see the point where, like, people aren't going to buy it again.
Yes.
But to say, like, oh, I don't want to see it, it's like, did you want to see it the first time? It's the same shit. Like, I just think it's kind of – I guess Tommy Fury's a fine pick if that's going to get you some more money. But
I think
for legitimacy reasons, you don't always have to do the interesting fight. You have to do the fights that make sense too. Not all of them always have to be interesting, or you'll get stuck in this weird thing where you're not putting on a lot of fights at all. Like you're like, I'm not gonna fight. I guess KSI is different because he's not really a fighter, so that is where they're disconnected from a scene where it's like I'm judging this like they're gonna have a boxing career, and KSI is just trying to do 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
So I guess in that vein, yeah. But I would like to see him fight again because it was an illegal punch. And who knows what would have happened in the next. It's like you judge them by rounds. Like somebody could win the first round and lose the next 6, or you want to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. So who knows if it wouldn't have been Joe's round the next round.
I just think immediately he shouldn't. I don't think it should immediately. Maybe if he just runs out of someone, he could do it again. But like I don't think it should be immediate run back because the whole point.
I don't like saying it's a run back. He cheated. Like so.
It's a rematch.
Yeah,
run it back.
But
rematch.
It's not like a run back. Like KSI's. Give him a run back like you guys agreed to a fight and then you broke the rules.
I just meant run it back.
Yeah,
you're going way too deep into that.
KSI is the one who broke the rules and ruined the fight, not Joe. And
I'm not saying that. I'm just
saying like Joe's the one getting punished in all of this because KSI cheated. Like KSI cheated. Now Joe's out of the fight. Everyone's like, you suck because you let a guy illegally, like a guy cheap shotted you and knocked you out. Now you're trash, and he's never gonna fight you again. And you miss. You know what I mean? It's like. Joe's the only one missing out. KSI's walking around like, oh, who cares about it? And then he's not a traditional boxer. He can say, whatever, I knocked him out the 4 hour. He's a bitch. Like, so, you know what I mean? It's like, that part was like, that's kind of whack to his Joe where, like, I would want to win. If I was him, I'd want to win fair and square. I wouldn't want anybody to think that I cheated to win, and that's what it was. A legal blow, that's cheating.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. The point I'm saying is the general public is not as interested. Because you have to think of the audience
too. Yeah, but they're not as interested because they're like, Joe sucks. Like, if we play a game of chess and I don't follow any of the rules and I beat you,
you have to look at the audience though. No. The audience, the age is like, you're older. The general KSIs are younger kids, people around my age. The age, that generation moves quicker. Like, all right, we saw it next. People don't want to wait.
But that's what I'm saying.
Or delay because it's all leading up.
No, I
KSI has
that,
been leading up to the Jake Paul fight.
Like, we never saw it. We saw KSI illegally cheat to win the fight, and then so we didn't see it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
They want to see just new things and new challenges that are harder.
Yeah,
because KSI has been pushing the whole comeback reasons to fight Jake Paul, and if we do a rematch, it could delay. That's the whole point. It's like
that part.
That's
like
the part.
I understand, but like, then they say like, I got ADHD and I don't want to see that fight again. Not, Joe's too slow. He sucks. Like, he had to cheat to beat him.
He fought Raycon and he was gassed in the second round.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like if he was that bad, he wouldn't have had to break the rules to beat him.
That was accidental. First off,
whatever. Like, I don't know.
You can't say that.
It's not a lot of accidental thing. Like I said, I told you when I saw it, it looked like. I don't think that when he threw the punch, he did that. I don't think he threw the punch with the forearm in mind. I think when he whiffed with the punch, his brain kicked in, was like, throw the elbow. So I don't think it was an accident. I think he did it on purpose.
I don't think he did it on purpose.
I just don't
That's
think
a wild take.
I don't think he swung like, I'm gonna elbow.
No, because the way KSI throws it, it's always been like this. He's very chaotic. I put that down in my notes. He's a very wild and chaotic person. So when he throws, because he saw Joe hurt. And because of his infancy, I guess we'll call it infancy in the sport, he doesn't throw as technically sound. So then he's always been a wild puncher. Like you saw, especially in Logan, it was really bad. It's kind of cleaned up now, but with a lot of his punches, when he sees someone down, he's gonna lose some of his technicality. But I disagree with you completely. It was definitely
an accident.
It was 100% an accident.
I don't think it was.
I think when he threw the punch, he doesn't have proper aim. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I saw him going to hit him with this hook, and then he just missed it. Like, I don't think he was like, let me hit this.
Fine, I guess I can say that, but it's still, you're accountable for your.
I'm not saying I'm just calling.
I don't really care if it was an accident, whatever. Like,
well,
to me, when I watched it, it looked like I said, I don't think he threw it with that in mind. I just think like his instincts kicked in, and I don't know if he's training kickboxing over there or throwing elbows and Muay Thai with Michael Penavage, but it looked like he after he missed the punch, he corrected his forearm so he could hit him to make sure the forearm hit him because the punch missed.
I stand by that. It was just
how he missed with his
sloppy
fist,
punch
with the forearm.
A sloppy punch. It was just because it was just in the clinch. Like I said, it's infancy.
So he's like your infancy. That's what people say. Like, you want to feel like it was your infancy is a good thing. I think like experience is more of a thing that like. I don't know.
I wasn't saying it was a good thing. I'm just saying like I disagree with you completely. It was not purpose. It was not intentional in any way.
I don't know. Him not wanting to fight him and then gloating about it makes me feel.
He never gloated. He hasn't gloated.
Yes, I've seen. He said a bunch of stuff.
No, he is not.
He was already hurt. Yada yada. I don't think. I think not wanting to fight him back is gloating.
No, well,
he's saying the implication like I'm above him, like. And he's basing that off what just happened in that one round in the ring. He's like, for that one, that's what everybody's saying. That one round, Joe was slow. KSI looked like he was going to beat him, so we don't need to see that again.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to bring back, though, is like, yeah, some people, the minority would maybe want to see him run it back, but the majority of people don't want to see it ran back. It was ruled a no contest, so that's that. It's been ruled. Even KSI came on a video, he's like, even though I did land an initial right, he's like, it was illegal. I do apologize. He apologized to him personally and in public. So I was like,
I didn't say he didn't apologize. I just said I thought.
Well, he wasn't gloating. Like he was
like I said to me to say like, I was kicking his ass the first round. He was already hurt. It didn't matter. He said it didn't matter. I'd already had him hurt. He said that. So it's like that's gloating, saying like, I was gonna win anyway. Like,
yeah, I mean that's also a fighter's mindset.
Again, that's fine, but don't say it's not gloating. That is like you're saying like.
Well, you made it gloating. It sounds like he was like, yeah, I'm glad I hit him.
I'm just saying like I would have been more humble. Like, my bad, I ruined the whole event.
Well, he'd say that.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Again, I don't super follow because I seen him come out and say that like.
He had a whole post.
He said it was an illegal punch. I had him hurt already. I dominated him in the first round.
Yeah, he said he was saying that, but he's also like, I'm really saddened by that. The fact this one moment my error, an error in my performance ruined the whole show, whole event, etc. He said that.
That's why I don't know. Then why not run it back then if you were sorry that it happened?
Because no one. That's what I'm saying. The general public is like, all right, whatever. They're not as interested now. You saw it one. Like it's
I don't know. I think a rematch of somebody you cheated to beat might sell more than Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury don't talk shit. So
yeah,
it's not like no, he does. What shit did he talk to Jake Paul?
Well, I guess he would talk back, so to speak.
A little bit. And KSI is not as big as a talker as Jake Paul. And even then, he barely talked. I can't remember one thing Tommy Fury said to Jake Paul.
Yeah, I can't really think. I was saying he talks back. He talks back. Maybe it's his dad that I think of.
Yeah, but he ain't say nothing crazy.
No, I won't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like I think Joe Fournier might sell because he'll be like, KSI cheated. He's a cheater or whatever you want to call it. He can't beat me. He has to cheat to beat me.
I would say Joe was
and
funny
KSI
as hell.
Gonna say,
you
suck. I was beating you anyway. And I don't know. We're gonna obviously get into this later, but I feel like rematches do better than first one. Like
I agree.
I feel like rematches do better because there's bad blood now.
Yes. I will 1,000%
KSI is
gonna
be like, oh, you're a bum. You're slow. You couldn't hit me.
Yeah.
Joe's gonna be like, well, you had to cheat to beat me, and it's gonna be like this thing. When him and Tommy fight, it's gonna be like this inorganic thing where they're like trying to create that rivalry when it's really not there. Like what it was with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, where like his dad had to step in. Jake Paul's got to get super disrespectful.
Not Jake's dad. What's his
or Tommy's dad.
Tommy's dad's so funny.
Yeah, but and like Jake's got to get super disrespectful because he knows what he's doing. He's trying to sell the fight, and it's like Tommy don't do that. KSI really doesn't do that. Yeah. So like I don't see how that's going to do more than him and Joe. Maybe a little bit more because Tommy's got a little name.
Oh, you mean you don't know how Tommy and KSI will do
more than Tommy and KSI and Joe. Sorry.
Okay, KSI
and Joe.
Okay,
KSI and Joe and KSI and Tommy.
Okay,
that's
you don't think I think it'll get
maybe
more than
slightly more. Maybe I don't know.
I think it'll probably hit half.
Half, you think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just because,
what did Tommy and Jake do?
It was like 8.
Damn, they did 800.
Yeah.
That's wild. I sent you a thing. Lomachenko and Haney did 150.
Yeah.
Oh my
130.
God.
I wrote
130.
It down.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. Yeah. We'll definitely get into it.
They did 800. That's wild. Like that's. But I think that the YouTuber scene is really like lit a fire into real boxers.
Yeah.
Like these fucking kids are selling 800 pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
Like. Damn, I thought people were excited for Haney and Lomachenko.
Yeah,
like the people I know a lot
of
boxers or people who like boxing, and I thought like the people in my group were like really hyping that fight up. Everybody's watching, like after the fight.
I honestly did not know until like a week prior to that they were fighting.
I didn't remember either.
I wrote it down here. I don't want to talk about the fight. Let's talk about the promotion. Why it did so low. It was on ESPN Plus, which I guess the reason I put there is because
wait, it was?
Yeah,
I watched it on a legal stream, and
Me
I have
too.
ESPN.
Well, you had to pay $60 for the pay-per-view.
Oh, still?
Yeah,
okay,
it was a pay-per-view.
Okay.
But whatchamacallit, ESPN, we always have it on here. I never really saw it promoted. No. It was not promoted. Only time I saw promo was when the big viral moment when Devin Haney was on Brantley Martin's pod. He was like, "Oh, I beat you." Then I kind of was like, "Oh, I guess he has a fight coming up."
I didn't even say that. We were talking about it, and then it hit me that I was like, "Oh, that's why."
Because he's been doing.
I had noticed Haney had been on like 10 podcasts in like 2 weeks, and I'm like, "Oh, that's why."
Because ESPN, and this is a great boxing, like it's a great name fight, and ESPN did not push that. We saw a lot for Garcia and Davis, and that was with Showtime. But ESPN did not push. I understand Lomachenko not really pushing. I've never known him.
He's like European.
Yeah.
Garcia and Davis, me and Tom talked about this before, also had the black versus Mexican.
Yeah. And they have phenomenal social media.
It was like the day before Cinco de Mayo, too. The week before Cinco de Mayo.
It was the weekend of.
Yeah, the weekend of Cinco de Mayo, like a black guy fighting a Mexican.
Weekend prior.
Yeah, it was the weekend prior. Canelo had the next
Canelo,
week.
yeah.
But it was like close to that time of the year, whatever, like the black versus Mexican rivalry in boxing goes crazy.
Yeah.
So, and Garcia is like has ties to Canelo, ties to De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Davis has
He's got a name. You can't deny it. You cannot deny it.
But I was shocked when I saw it did 10 times the buys that Lomachenko and Haney did.
I am not okay. I'm not surprised the numbers that Davis and Garcia did at all. But I am very surprised when you suddenly did that. I was like, wow. I didn't think they were gonna reach that number.
No.
But I was thinking
like half.
Yeah, I was thinking half, maybe at the lowest 300.
Yeah.
But 130 is wild. You have to blame. I really do have to blame ESPN for that.
I blame whoever's promoting them. Haney and Lomachenko should have been fighting as the co-main event on Ryan and Tank Davis's card.
Yeah.
Like, and then you make a deal. All right. The winners are the main event next time. The 2 losers fight each other co-main event.
Yeah.
6 months. See you guys after that. Before you guys even fight, we'll just lock that in, all 4 of you guys. Losers fight, winners fight, and we go on from there. And then that's what I was talking about earlier. You're creating rivalries. These guys fought. They lost.
Yeah.
They were on the same card. It's like they don't do any of that. ESPN's late. Like I had no idea Lomachenko was fighting Haney.
I did not know that.
And Haney's a pretty big name in boxing. People like Haney.
He's in
and Lomachenko as well.
Garcia is always talking about fighting Haney, and the same thing with like that. There's always like 5 people always talking about each other, and I was really surprised. Haney stepped up because I think he realized it too. Like he was hopping on everybody's podcast or doing whatever with all these influencers because he knew they had the pull. He sees how the scene's moving. He's a smart guy, so he was hopping on all these podcasts. He was pushing as much as he can and stuff. And I saw like 1 or 2 interview clips of Lomachenko and Haney fight or like pre-fight stuff. I never saw anything from any press conferences. Never saw anything for weigh-ins ever. Never even saw that like on a YouTube like recommendation or TikTok or anything. Yeah. Nothing on Twitter. Like it was so silent. Oh yeah, only thing I heard was like I said, that Bradley Martin clip, and that was like a viral thing. I was like, oh, I wasn't surprised that Haney was on there because Bradley Martin's a good name and he's connected with influencers and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, whatever. He just texted him, and then I was like, oh wait, he is fighting. Like I found out like a week after. I had
no idea when I was like as I was watching it. I had no idea he was fighting. And then, like, it hit me. I was like, oh, that makes sense why he was on every podcast I've seen the last 2 weeks. Because
he's on another one, too, with Black Guy.
Yeah. He was on a couple. He was on
he was talking about why boxing's dying.
Yeah, I think it was $1 million worth of game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, we'll go into a little bit. He said that they're not dying because these guys or it's dying because these guys are afraid to lose. Yeah. He said he used Izzy as an example in the UFC. Yeah. He's lost twice in the last, like, 2.5 years. And he won. He avenged and got his belt back. And now he's bigger than ever. It's like, and that's what you guys need to do. Put it on the line. You might lose your belt, but you get it back. Rematches pay more. Like I said this earlier, rematches do better than the first-time fights unless it's 2
more exciting.
Huge names. But, like, if you guys have a pretty close fight, even if you don't, one of you guys, like, Izzy got knocked out. He went back and knocked the guy out. Now, you know what I mean? They're going to chill for a bit, but they're going to have their third fight. Actually, like, the 4th time they've already fought. They fought twice in kickboxing. Yeah. But I think, like, the rivals are there. Garcia and Haney have fought when they were younger. I mean, I think Garcia needs to get in the gym, get his shit together. But, you know, he gets training for real. But the hand speed's there. The natural ability's there. I just think he's been lackadaisical the last few years. I think he lost his edge, his drive. I think getting knocked out in front of 1 million. You know what I mean? If they had 1 million pay-per-view buys, you got to think.
They sold out that stadium.
He sold out the stadium, and I'm guessing another 2-3 million people illegally watched it or were watching it at somebody else's house. Like, what are you, 100 million people are watching? You know what I mean? Like, so to get knocked out in front of all those people and to go on a liver shot, I bet you that's, you know what I mean? He's got that on his bulletin board, and I'm excited to see Garcia back. We talked down and bad about him because I thought but that was a brave test to get in there.
Let me pause it. I have to reset the camera, guys. 1 sec. I do want to I want to save our points for Garcia and Davis, just because we want to do a full breakdown of that. I want to ask you, though, what did you think of the technical side, the fight itself of Lomachenko and Haney?
I thought it was great. I was really entertained.
What did you think of Haney's? Yeah, go ahead.
I thought Lomo won after it was over, but I don't know, boxing scoring, I grew up boxing, but I'm much more of an MMA fan now, so I think the way they score the fight is more engraved in my brain, but because I always feel like whoever I think won the boxing match, they did it. It was like the opposite. I'm like, what the hell was I watching? But I thought it was very technical. Haney came out firing to start. I think about halfway through, though, Lomachenko got his timing down, and he was just getting out of the way of everything. I actually saw a clip of Haney in his corner talking to his dad, like, he's blocking he knows what I'm throwing before I throw it. He's countering everything. Like, and that's why I felt the fight was going probably a little shortly after the midway point. And I thought Lomo was landing the bigger punches. I thought, like, as the fight went on, Haney was just swinging at air a lot. Early on, his jab was really hitting. He was getting him with the straight. He was bullying him, flurrying him. But I think, like I said, round 4, 5, 6, round then, Lomo hit a switch. And
I put 7 and 9, in my opinion, were probably Lomo's best rounds.
Yeah, he was.
That I can recall. It's been a few weeks. But
and after seeing the stats of the fight, Lomo looked like he did better. It was just really weird. But it was a fun fight.
It was good.
For a fight where nobody got knocked out, it was very entertaining. A lot of punch swinging. It wasn't boring. Nobody was hugging. 2 very technical fighters. Lomo is one of the greatest. His footwork is, like, unmatched. It's ridiculous sometimes to watch him in there. Guys swing, and he's standing behind you. When you get done with your hook, he's like, they're looking around like, where the hell is this guy? He doesn't even throw a punch. He's just like, oh, I'm right here. Like, so I love to watch Lomachenko. I've been following him for a long time. Unfortunately for him, for his career, I don't know if it was cherry picking or guys were ducking him, but he really never fought anybody. Haney's his biggest fight of his career, and he's about to retire. He fought Lopez like 2 years ago.
Yeah, what was that, on Triller?
Yeah, it's like, so That it's sad that we just got to watch Lomachenko bully on bums his whole career and never really fight anybody
That's
great.
just the opinion of boxing. You've heard us talk about that a million times. We won't go. I don't want to go on a tangent with that. It's unfortunate. I will say with Haney's performance, I really noticed a lot. I'm not the biggest Haney fan. What I mean by that is I just haven't watched a lot of his fights. But I will say with Haney, his body work was really on his ass. I would say he was on Lomo's ass with a lot of that body work. It seems like that was his plan from the get-go, was to drain his gas out somehow. Cause
I don't know if it's
whatever is go.
It's more like it's easier to hit him in the body because it's harder to like
move
your head, get your hips and exactly
shit,
like your head movement and like getting out and making yourself small and there's things like that. You can really do that when you're swinging for the. So I think in his head it was more so because a guy like Lomachenko, you're not going to drain his gas tank. I just think it was a lot easier to swing for the body punch because you're not going to end up swinging.
I will say Lomo's power punches were better. I put that down my notes.
I thought he did more damage.
His power punch was better. Haney had the better body work in my opinion.
Yeah, body work and his jabs early in the fight were real good. But I think that was Lomachenko just getting his timing down and his distance down. And then, like I said, after like the 7th round, 6th, 7th round, Haney couldn't land one of those jabs.
Yeah.
Like if he tried, he got popped. And he was just swinging at air, I thought. Not for me, I thought Lomachenko won that fight. It was very...
That 12th round, or last round, Haney knew, he's like, I got to put it all out there.
Yeah.
And he did. I will say that. I'm glad. I was really glad that both fighters, I wasn't really surprised with Lomo, but because it was such a big fight for Haney as well, is that he's like, all right, it's my final round. He didn't cower down. He didn't stay calm.
He didn't run away.
He's like, I wanted to make sure. He's like, even if I lose, I put 100% in. I was really happy with that. And I would say both fighters gave phenomenal performances.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
It was really good.
The worst part about the card is there was no other good fights.
I don't even know who fought on that.
Yeah,
I didn't
watched
watch it.
the 3 before.
I literally tuned in.
And they were pretty
started,
uninteresting to me.
Who was
going
it?
to that later. I don't know. There's nobody's like.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit? Is that all my notes for? I was looking around once. Haney, yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all I got for Lomo and Haney. Do you have anything else?
No, not really.
Next, we'll actually kind of segue with that. Yeah, let's do this. We'll do Gervonta Davis and then Ryan Garcia. That fight's a little older. Should have done it sooner, but it is what it is. Like I said, you guys gotta let us know in the comments. We're pretty primarily TV and movies, but we also
I think boxing. I talked about this. I don't think it falls under entertainment. It's like a movie.
It's really, you have to pick and choose. Let us know, guys. We don't want to fill content you guys don't want us to do, so just let us know in the comment section right now. Too late for this video though; it's already out. But for this one, I think everyone knew how this would go. But what I think this was best described was a wake-up call for two things: A, for Ryan Garcia, and B, for boxing. Actually, funny enough. Ryan Garcia, because Sean said, and I agree with him completely. And you heard us actually in our last boxing episode. We were very annoyed with Garcia, with his ego, his inactivity, his reasons for his activity. If you want to know in depth that, go watch that last episode. But we had negative feelings towards him, and then he had the balls enough to just hop in the ring with a very, very dangerous fighter. He was like, I'm gonna put it all out there, and he said in the interview, when he lost, he's like, I lost. I'm not gonna make excuses. He's like, it is what it is. He's like, I should have played more technical. I really wanted to make it entertaining, and he got too ahead of himself. Obviously, he always drops his right hand all the time. I don't know. I did both hands. But yeah, no, this fight was a pretty one-way result, I will say.
Ryan had a good round.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah, I would just say we knew what the result was going to be.
Yeah, so yeah.
But I did want to bring this up with you. Two things. First, Ryan's actually suspended by the Nevada Athletic Commission until October 20th.
What, because he's hurt?
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I was trying to research
give you,
it.
medical suspension.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I saw that. I was like,
when? October what?
20th.
That's a long time.
Well, it was his rib. He broke his rib in Pac.
Okay,
It can't be broke.
Any fight you get, you have to go to the hospital. You have to go to the hospital and you get like a full checkup.
Okay.
And then they report that, and then
that's what I thought. Initially, I was like, "What did he do?" And I was like, "Oh wait, he was talking about his rib." And then also, but prior to the fight, they were both obviously undefeated. Davis had 28 fights and Garcia had 23. So everyone was like, "Oh, Garcia was like, well, it's just my inexperience." I'm like, you guys are only a few fights off, but that really just goes to show for boxing how all boxers pad up their records, so to speak. And it's
certain guys got we'll say he's got 23-0, but really only 10 of them could fight.
Right.
And
yeah.
Even Gervonta's he's got 28-0 and only 20 of them could fight. He just had less, but we all knew what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Ryan he was outclassed. You could see it in the ring. Davis is just better.
Yeah.
Garcia, he's got the tools though. It's not like I just think he said he was trying to put on a show. He wasn't sticking to his jab. He wasn't keeping his distance.
Because he had the range on him.
He wasn't using his range at all. I wouldn't say at all. He was really trying to land that left hook and knock Gervonta out.
And Gervonta knew that he was.
And I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys, they want to be like Floyd. A lot of these guys, they want to treat boxing and fighting like it's
points,
baseball or football. It's like, no, dude, we want to see you guys go out there and kill each other. Like, sorry.
You got to find the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain guys.
Find a balance.
But the only reason, Floyd wouldn't be popular if he wasn't so unlikable.
Yeah.
He talks a lot of stuff. He's, I'm going to make money. Nobody can beat me type of thing. And he kind of built that up. But most of the guys, you got to go out there and be exciting. And we want to see punches thrown. You put yourself in danger. You get knocked down. You get back up. Take a punch. You give a punch type of thing. And some do. I mean, Gervonta does that a lot, too. Gervonta was letting Ryan get off. Gervonta's sitting waiting to get the timing down for a knockout punch. Yeah. Every time you see Gervonta's fight, he's losing. What's going on? He's letting this guy beat him up for a whole round. And out of nowhere, he ducks and hits him with an uppercut and puts him to sleep.
I didn't even see when Ryan went down. What did he get hit with? I remember watching it. I was like, what?
Yeah, he hit him 10 seconds before that.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking, it was fixed. And now it's these guys have never been punched in the liver before because I can only imagine what it'd be like.
Because even Ryan said he had it was that same injury. And then it was rumored that, or I guess it came out that one of his sparring partners, Garcia's sparring partners broke, or maybe not sprained it. What is it called? Fractured. Yeah. Is that less than a break? Right. Yeah. Fractured his rib, and then he had to deal with that. And then, but that sparring partner was a spy for Davis. I don't know. There was a lot of conspiracy. Even Davis said, I don't know. But regardless, a sparring partner fractured Garcia's rib, and then Davis knew about it supposedly. But regardless, with that hit, if you don't know what's coming, it hurts.
The Latino community was very upset with Ryan. They wanted him to go out. They don't like seeing a guy go out on a knee because of his ribs. I didn't like that. It was a good fight. It was entertaining. He went out there, but
he did get knocked down in round two. He did get knocked down in round two. So,
but that's how you're gonna have to put me down. If my rib hurts, you're just gonna have to break my motherfucker. I could not imagine being oh, my stomach hurts. I'm not going anymore. Yeah. I'd just be fighting with my arm down, and you just knock me out. That part, I thought, I don't know. These guys, I guess
hard.
He's rich too. This kid, you know what I mean? I'm some jock who.
He's probably thinking
if I get brain damage, it's not a big deal. It's gonna cost him millions of dollars if he gets brain damage. Yeah. So
he was thinking too. He was like, would I rather deal with a fracture or if I broke it? Maybe he was thinking that.
And they're
too.
Gonna fight again. They did a million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah,
I'm guessing next year around Cinco de Mayo, if they don't got a
partner,
they're going again. A million pay-per-view buys. Showtime is not passing that up. No. It's hard to get a million pay-per-view buys, and especially for boxing in this era. So we'll be seeing them again, and I'll be tuned in.
I'll be tuned in because I will say I've earned Garcia's garnered my respect again. I will say that because he got in there. He fought.
Yeah,
he
go
fought,
in there and fight somebody you knew you were going to lose to.
And he took the loss like a champ. I will say that. People have been giving a lot of flack on like Sean stated and all that bad stuff. But he's took it on the chin. I would say took it on the chin. He stayed quiet on social, which is nice. So he said he's looking for a new team. Because De La Hoya and his whole team left him at the post conference.
That was wild.
And I don't know. De La Hoya came on an interview. He stated reasons why. I never watched it, but everyone was like,
I don't care what your reasons why. What could you possibly have to do that was more important?
If your wife isn't dying or something.
Exactly. You're not having a kid to be next to your fighter post fight of a fight that just did a million pay-per-view buys.
And he lost, so he needs support.
That was whack. I just get Hoya is a snake anyway. He was a great boxer, but
Canelo even said
as a businessman, I've never heard anything good about him. No. He always seems like he's coked out anytime I see him anywhere.
What was it? I think it was at
Trilla.
the fight.
Trilla.
Where he was like this. It was like that.
Yeah, but at Trilla, they talk to him. It's he's always coked out. He's all the fighters say they're trying to get over. I'm I liked Oscar De La Hoya when he's a fighter. He seemed like an honorable guy. But he's just
fame
not.
Got to him.
Yeah, I'm guessing the fame guy because he was bigger than 10 times more popular than Garcia ever was. But he just seems like a snake, and that was whack to leave your boy hanging like that.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Ryan.
Even
right
his
there.
coach was
and like I said,
up.
I had a new level of respect for him because he was hiding behind
his
depression and mental instability. But it was all bullshit because you could see you go in there, you face your fears like a fucking man.
Yeah.
Like, and I would, like I said, I knew he was gonna get whooped. Gervonta knew. He said, like, this kid ain't got shit for me.
Yeah.
Like, and really Garcia knew because
he
didn't try and outpoint him. He was trying to knock him out.
His last 2 fights were like some bums.
He was trying to knock him out because he knew he wasn't gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, hopefully he finds a nice team to get to.
I think he should go back to Canelo. Honestly, I think Canelo would take him back.
Yeah. Canelo doesn't seem like a bitter guy.
No.
You just tell him like. That's where you should be, wherever the champions are. Floyd always gets into it with his dad and his uncle, and he always ends up back there, them training him, like, because not necessarily, like, where you want to be, not always where you should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's his best spot, or just anyone who doesn't really have a big name. I would say that. Like, you know what's funny? Davis's coach came out. Maybe you saw it. He was like, someone asked him in an interview, like, days after the fight, he was like, if Garcia said he's looking for a new camp, if he came to you, he's like, I'd welcome him with open arms. Like he's a young kid. Look, he got in there with a killer. Yeah,
like,
he's like, and he got in there, he fought, and that's a fighter to me. He's like, I'll bring him in.
And he wasn't outclassed in the sense he didn't look like he didn't belong in the ring. He just knew, like, everyone knew who was going to win.
There's levels.
There's levels, and we all knew who was going to win. But he looked like a pro boxer. He
lasted what?
I don't think he didn't look like he had a game plan, or he just threw it out the window when he got in there. But I think if he fought Gervonta and he threw way more jabs, I think it would be a different fight.
Yeah, his coach even came out and said, Garcia's coach, let me clarify, came out and said, he's like, with Ryan, you can't really coach him. Like, just kind of let him do him. I'm like, what? You're a coach. Like,
they're intimidated by him. He's so famous. He's so popular.
I was like, even like with, like, every time I've been in there, I was like, my coach yells at me every time. Like, he's like, how about you keep your hand up?
That's why the boxing scene is bad. These guys are too popular. They're too famous. They don't got some old guy telling them in there that they suck and that they're a pussy, and you know what I mean? Nobody pushing them to be better. They all they're like, basically he just said like Ryan knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, no, he doesn't. That's why you're a coach and he's a fighter.
Yeah.
Like, he needs help.
Floyd knows what he's doing, but he always tells the coach.
Somebody tell him what to do.
Because he'll see something he can't see.
And you guys are all work together. You put your heads together and you figure it out together. You tell him, and then he has that information in his brain.
Yes.
And then he implements it. And it's like, to be like, oh, he knows what he's doing. It's like, no, he doesn't. He just got fucking knocked out. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, you have to tell him, like, Ryan, stop. Why are we all here? Like, you don't need to be paying me if you're not going to do what I say.
Right.
But these all guys just want to get paid, so they don't care what it is. They're just sitting there.
They got the check and they bounced, literally. I will say, though, we saw this earlier. This was such a super fight, and it really did light a match under traditional boxing and all these promotions, whatever you want to say. And I think we actually have a couple more fights to talk to here. We're going to see a lot of great fights. We have a lot of great fights this year, and especially next year. I think from now on, future standing point, I think so far we're going to see a lot of great fights, and I'm really excited for boxing because this needed to happen. Because I think everyone knew behind the scenes that boxing was a dying sport. They didn't want to come out and say it because obviously that was a profession. They had a job in it. But all it took was a couple of guys who needed to do it. They needed one fight like this to be like, okay, we can. Because everyone was scared. They're like, I don't want to.
They want to go out there and loot, and then remember that it's like the meme world now. Especially a lot of these young kids, they don't want to be made fun of at all. They don't want to be the butt of the joke for a month or like Manny Pacquiao. I remember when Manny Pacquiao got knocked out. The memes for like, you think he cared? Like he's a legend. Like you out there, he's thinking like, I'll beat all those guys up, whatever. I got knocked out. You know what I mean? Cotto would knock them out too.
And when people look at Ryan's record now, they're like, oh, he lost? Gervonta Davis.
Oh, that was a good fight. Million pay-per-view buys. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like nobody's looking at your record.
If you lost to a bum, that's a different story.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like now, is there any more fights, Tyler? You want to talk about upcoming fights, what we think?
I do, yeah. So I got, you brought this one up. I didn't even realize this one was happening. I thought it was still in negotiations. I was thinking of a different one. We got Spence and Crawford coming.
This is like
July 29th.
That's my birthday. There's also, I think there's an MMA fight that day too.
Gaethje and
that's
Poirier.
that day.
Wow,
that's a lit day. That's gonna be some good fights.
We gonna turn up.
Dana always does that. He always they have a big fight. He does one on the same night. Terrence and Crawford in the black community. we've been waiting for this fight for about 5 years now.
I was watching highlights of the last fight because I wanted to be caught up.
They've been ducking and dodging each other for like 5 years now.
Because they're almost out, right? Are they on their way out? Well, because Crawford's 35, then Spence is 33. Maybe not Spence.
Yeah, I guess.
Crawford.
Yeah, they're probably on their way out. I didn't realize they were that old. It's been so long. It might have been longer than 5 years. They should have been fighting. Man, like you said earlier, I think Garcia and Davis lit a fire to these guys. Lomachenko and Haney fought right after that. Now Earl and Spence and Crawford are finally going to fight.
How many pay-per-views do you think that's going to do? What's your estimate?
I think it'll do about 1 million. I think it's a long. I don't know though. Actually,
it hasn't been promoted
that well. It's two black
well.
dudes, so no. I mean, again, I just think boxing's always better when it's like a white guy versus a black guy or a Mexican dude versus a black guy. Like those just do better. Like, we'll see though. I think it is highly anticipated.
Yes.
I will say that. It'll be interesting to see how many pay-per-views, but I'll say at least do a 500,000 for sure. It'll definitely do.
I feel comfortable.
I'm positive that'll do that.
I think it really between 5 and 7. That's what I think.
We'll see how they promote it.
Yeah, like I said, it's still pretty early. They kind of do half-ass promotion. Then like a month prior, like once we hit July, I think we're gonna see. I hope we see a lot. Like I said, I didn't even know Lomachenko and Haney were fighting. That's a great fight. But they're signed with Showtime, if I believe. I think they're fighting under Showtime because Spence fought under Showtime, but. Crawford's fought somewhere else. I forgot. But anyways, if it's Showtime, then we're good. Because I will say Garcia and Davis Showtime promo because it was co-promoted with DAZN and Showtime, and they don't mess around.
Well, and it was just lit on Twitter. Yeah. Ryan and Gervonta both talk a lot on social media.
And they got following. Phenomenal.
Yeah, and so that helped a lot too.
Yeah.
They're both very popular on social media. And again, the week before Cinco de Mayo, they had a lot of things working for them, but. We'll see. I don't. Spence and Crawford don't have the same appeal as them, but it is a highly anticipated.
Let's do an early prediction. Who do you think's gonna win?
I like Crawford a lot. I've always liked Crawford. I always thought he'd win if they fought. So I would say Crawford, 12-round decision or whatever they fought.
The decision?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going the distance.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I put too. I didn't say I put Spence. Like I said, I haven't watched a lot of them. Like I said, I'm pretty basic when it comes to boxing. Like I said, I've only watched it for the last few years, so I'm still catching up on a lot of things. But I put, based off their last performances, only what I based it upon. I watched both of those fights back before we recorded this today. I think Spence will win. A decision. I said maybe a KO. Just threw it out there, but I think regardless, this fight does go a decision.
A high level fight. I'm interested.
Yeah. But I was watching his fights, and I'll say the only way I think Crawford wins, he has the power on him. I think he would get a KO over Spence, in my opinion. Yeah. And I think Crawford's chin is better than Spence's because Spence's last fight, he was fighting. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. It's like Uga. I'm not gonna try. I'm not trying to get racially canceled here. But like he was stumbling a few times. He actually got knocked into the ropes a few times, and it was a pretty decent level fighter. But Crawford would also beat the same guy. And vice versa for Spence with his opponent, but. Crawford's defense, it looked like in the last fight, wasn't really all there. He wasn't as slick. He kept getting tagged a lot with a lot of rights, a lot of hooks. But Spence looked a lot sharper versus. I think it just comes into age too. I don't know. But the record, Crawford also just has a lot more wear on him. I looked it up. He had 39 fights. Spence is at 28. So I think Spence will win just based off of slickness.
All right. What about what other fights we for sure coming up? Nate and Jake.
Yeah, Nate and Jake is August 5th.
It's August 5th.
August 5th.
It's like a week after.
Yeah, we lit 2020. We out here. We outside.
I know. I'm pretty sure we have but I like Nate in this fight. I forgot, what is it? 7 rounds? 6 rounds?
8.
I like Nate like a round 6 or 7 stoppage from punches. Like Jake gets knocked out standing on his feet or type of thing. They just call it. Who knows though?
Yeah.
I would like to see some of the what do you call it? The Unleashed or whatever they do. The little hour promo they do before the fights where they're showing how they're training.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to see how serious Nate is taking it. I think he will.
I think so too.
Nate's not a very goofy guy. No. I know they play him as like a stoner and like a gang member, but he's really serious about fighting. I don't personally think Tyron Woodley or Ben Askren or anybody took a dive.
Ben Askren admitted he took a dive. Sorry,
took a dive. People have said that.
No.
Anderson Silva. I don't believe that. I'm just saying I'm 98% sure none of those guys take a dive.
I'm 1,000 with Nate.
I'm 1,000% sure Nate will not take a dive.
Hell no.
He will not take a dive for the money. So I'm very intrigued. And Nate, honestly, Nate was pretty much the gateway into me watching MMA, so I always ride for Nate.
Right.
So I'm definitely going to go for him. But I do think it's always been like word around the MMA community that Nate could box. He used to train with Andre Ward. Andre Ward would even come out and say, like, Nate could beat up some of these guys I've beaten. He said that on multiple occasions after winning the championship.
Yeah. Excuse me. I think the first 4 in the first half of the fight, if Jake doesn't get him out, I do agree. If it goes to decision, I think Nate will take it. Just because, again, the cardio. And I agree. Everything Rashawn stated, I agree. If it goes in the later rounds, Nate wins, in my opinion. I know that Jake is back with Shane Mosley, which is good. But one training camp won't turn your cardio upside down and make it perfect. That's time. That's time. That's all it is. It's just time. And he's going to learn some new tech, probably sharpen his skills for sure with Mosley there. But I truly do think with it, I think Jake is going to have to come out super hard, like harder than ever in the first 4. In the first half of the fight, if he doesn't knock him out, it's going to Nate, in my opinion. I think there's a very likely chance that Nate does get knocked out. He's because of a lot of wear and tear on him, and he's never fought at 185. They're gonna weigh in at 185. Jake's gonna go up to 195, whatever it is. Nate's probably gonna stay around that weightish.
Yeah, Nate walks around. Nate probably walks around about what Jake's walking around at. Nate's tall.
Yeah.
Nate's like 6'4" or something, like 6'3", right?
No.
He's gonna be. Let's see.
No, because Connor is my height, 5'9", 5'10". He ain't 6'4".
No, only 6 foot.
Yeah, I'll say he is tall. He was not 6'4" though. Yeah.
He's got long arms and lanky.
But yeah,
I would
Jake
guess
has to
I don't know. Last time he fought in MMA, he fought at 175. So he probably walking around at like 185, 190. So probably close to what Jake is. Yeah, it's going to be intriguing. I like Nate a lot, and I think he's a good person to pick. I think he's one of the few MMA guys who have real boxing skills.
Yeah. And I think he is going
honestly,
to
I think this is going to be a tougher test than Tommy Fury. I think Nate Diaz will beat Tommy Fury's ass. Nate's way more active. He's he's going to go out there, and it's going to be a fun fight.
Yes, I will say I do agree with Sean that I think this is a tougher fight. In the sense of
you're gonna have to go out there and prove it. Like Tommy was sitting out there throwing jabs.
Well, I was just thinking, like no one else is taking Jake seriously 1,000%. And the way I think of it is, whatever Nate thinks of Jake, it's whatever. But at the end of the day, he's like, this is the fight I have to win.
Yes, he cannot. I don't think he.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I think that would hurt him more than losing millions of dollars. That Jake Paul could walk around and say he knocked Nate the fuck out.
Because I think that's what it is. I think it's gonna be a hard. Everyone's waving it off. I'm like, oh yeah, this and that. I agree. If it's in the first 4, Jake wins. Jake can't beat Nate's cardio. Jake's best chance is to knock him out. I will agree with that 1,000%. But people are really underestimating Nate's mind, and that's really bothering me. Because if Dana said it, Nate himself said it. Maybe we said it on the last episode, but everyone goes around. We all agree like Nate is like a fighter. Like Dana's like, have you talked to this guy? Like, he wants to fight the best of the best. Like, he wants to fight Usman again.
Yeah, that's what Dana was saying, like, they're like, why are you holding Nate hostage? Why won't you let him fight? He's like, I try to give him fights all the time. He'll only fight the champion.
Yes.
And he's like, I can't. He's like, he hasn't beaten anybody in a long time. His last 2 fights are losses. I can't let him fight the champion for the belt. Like,
it's stuff like that. I was like, you guys are underestimating. Like, he's willing to go fight. He almost knocked out, what's his name? Leon Edwards.
And he's the welterweight champion.
Yeah, I was saying, he almost knocked him out. Prime fighter.
I don't think he's going to take this lightly at all.
No, he's not.
He's a winner, and I expect him to go out. Like I said, they fight for honor too. Yeah. This isn't a joke. He's not Tyron Little. Yeah. He's not. I don't think
he's not about the bag.
I think he's washed up in MMA in a sense because dudes know how to beat.
He never really changed.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Well, it's really easy to beat Nate. If you want to throw leg kicks and fight like a little pussy in his eyes, I'm not going to call these guys pussies.
Yeah.
But you could easily beat Nate by points. Like Leon Edwards, throw some jabs, throw some leg kicks. You know what I mean? You'll easily win. Nate's not going to He's not gonna adjust. He wants to go brawl. He wants to bang, and he'll just flick you off and call you a pussy in the ring.
And choke you out at some point.
And call you a pussy in the ring if you don't want to fight. And then when he gets on the mic and the ref says he loses by unanimous decision, he'll just call you a pussy. Yeah. Say you were scared to fight him for real, and then be like, "All right, bitch, I'm out of here."
Yeah,
like,
bye.
And people love it. Like so.
Nate's set. Well, he seems like he is a very humble guy. Like he's pretty set. He's not like a frivolous spender. You always see him in like blue jeans and a black shirt. Whatever house he got, everything he needed. He already has set in life. So this is more of like
his house looks like the house I grew up in. Like it's just like a
it's
regular
a nice house.
Like in the suburbs for like 5-bedroom, 2-car garage. Like he lives in just like some regular suburb.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I like Nate. I think that's gonna. I'm guessing 1.5 million pay-per-view buys.
That's gonna be huge.
Like
yeah.
So
I think 1. I don't think 1.5.
I don't think 1.5.
1, 2 maybe.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
They've been promoting so far. The first press conference was pretty entertaining.
It was, because Nate left. She's like, and then Aaron Hawani's like, you said he had to use the restroom. And Jake was so pissed because Nate was like, where's all the regular people at? Who are these people? Like stuff like that. Because he's used to like the UFC having like the public there. Yeah. And I agree, it should be. I think the next press conference will be like that. But yeah, my prediction.
Right, so you said Jake if it's early, Nate if it's in the end.
Yeah, Nate gets decision, Jake early.
All right, and to close it out, who do you think these next guys should fight? Like I said, I'll say the first. I thought the winner should fight the winner, losers fights losers. I
wrote lists.
Lomachenko should fight Garcia, and Haney should fight Davis, or Garcia should fight. Who's the dude that called out Davis? Shakur
Stevenson.
Yeah, maybe, or Garcia fight him, and Haney and Davis need to fight.
Yeah,
I think Haney and Davis need to fight, and I think Lomachenko, Shakur, and Garcia should figure it out amongst themselves. And whoever that is, they fight the co-main event.
I think what it should be is we'll do all that. So yeah, Haney Davis fight.
We both agree.
And then it should be Garcia and Stevenson, and then Lomachenko gets that winner. Okay. In my opinion, just because Lomachenko is a dangerous fighter, so those two.
Yeah, I think Lomachenko
would hurt
Ryan. Hurt Garcia. Yeah,
I'd be scared.
Yeah. But again, like I said, I think that's fine for Ryan. Go out there, you know what I mean? Take your lumps like a man.
I put traditional fights and influencer fights. For traditional, I put Garcia and Rolly Romero. That'd be a good one.
That's the dude who
lost.
Javante just knocked out not too long ago.
That'd be a good fight. Yeah. He just fought. He lost in a controversial.
He
won in a controversial.
But when he was fighting Javante, he was winning a couple of the rounds. He was winning right before he knocked him out too. Yeah.
So I think that would be a good fight for him. I put Haney and Lomachenko too. You're talking about that. Haney and Shakur Stevenson. He called him out. I had Davis and Haney. Garcia and Haney. I put that. Garcia and Kambosos Jr. That'd be a decent one. I put Canelo and Benavidez. That has to be set up because Benavidez beat Plant decision. For second half of the fight was his. Oh my goodness! All right, but yeah, that was a great fight. That needs a fight. Canelo's on his way out, in my opinion. This Ryder fight was really disappointing. I put Caleb Plant versus Triple G. That'd be it.
Is Triple G still fighting?
I don't know. But I just put that. I didn't look it up. That'd be a good fight. Tyson and Usyk. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. No. Wilder and Anthony Joshua. That'd be a great fight.
I don't know why they haven't fought yet.
That'd be a great fight.
Wait, didn't they say they were fighting? I thought Wilder and Joshua actually are fighting.
Tyson came out and said he's fighting.
I think Wilder and Joshua are fighting.
Tyson just posted something. He's like, let's fight in September to Joshua. Then I also put Canelo and Bivol too. That's gonna happen, obviously.
Tyson Fury's latest offer laughed at by Anthony Joshua, who plans to face Deontay Wilder.
Oh, okay, bet. That's a great fight. Great fight.
He plans to face Wilder and someone else in 2023. So 2 fights? Wait, in 2023, what's today? What's 2023 right now?
Yeah.
So is he fighting Wilder tomorrow? Like, these guys take like 5 months between fights. He's got to like fight somebody in the next like month or 2 if he's going to fight twice. Well, I think they're close. They don't have a date, but I think Joshua and Wilder are going to be announcing a date in the next couple months.
Probably.
Or like they'll be announcing a date soon in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be sometime in the summer.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe July. It can't be the 20th. I think maybe mid-July or maybe mid-August.
Or I was gonna say after
early August maybe. But yeah, those fights should happen.
Yeah, I don't think I think Tyson's gonna fight like Ruiz or something. Get like another 20 million and get up out of there. For some reason, he doesn't want to fight Usyk.
Or Joshua. Like I
don't know. The Joshua. Joshua said that like Fury's not giving him enough. Like he wants too much. Well, I think Fury would beat the ever living shit out of Joshua.
Yeah.
Usyk, I don't know. But Joshua has no chance. He don't got. He can't beat. I don't think he can beat Tyson.
No, Joshua's mindset isn't there anymore. Ever since
he doesn't have. He doesn't have that savage in him. Yeah.
Or yeah. No, I guess Ruiz won.
Ruiz the first time. Just ever since Ruiz knocked him out the first time, he hasn't been the same.
He hasn't been the killer.
Even though he came back and beat Ruiz. Ruiz had put on 20 pounds and didn't care.
Didn't he fight Derek Chisora?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost to somebody, right? Didn't he lose to Usyk too?
Yeah, he lost to Usyk. Yeah. He's been losing consistently for a bit now. I guess it was his last fight. But no, he fought Chisora, and that was pretty. I don't know if it was Chisora, guys. Correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it was this damn flea. But yeah, it was pretty it was unentertaining. It was very lackluster. He should have really put it all out there. They set up that fight as a confidence fight, and his confidence was not there. I think Wilder will beat Joshua.
I think so too.
Because I feel like that's also
I think Joshua will win every round, but eventually Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, that's another confidence fight, but he just doesn't.
I don't know if it's a confidence fight. Deontay Wilder is very good.
No,
if you want to go out there and if you protect yourself at all times, you'll easily get the win. But
yeah, I think Joshua's the better technical boxer, obviously.
Fall around for sure.
Yeah, but I was like, that's what I'm saying. I was like, if you can't,
but you really can't stop him from landing 2 or 3 bombs in the fight.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because even if you're blocking, if he hits you, there's a chance you go out.
Right. Do you want me to do my influencer ones?
Influencer,
Alrighty. So I put Logan Paul and Le'Veon Bell.
Is Logan Paul still fighting? Doesn't he rip both his knees up?
No, that's fixed. It was like an ACL he tore. But yeah, because Le'Veon Bell just beat JMX, excuse me, and he's been calling it Logan Paul. Logan Paul needs one of these fights. He's supposed to fight this year.
He's wrestling too, right?
Yeah, he's in W, but he's flexible. His contract's different than everyone else's. Slim versus Salt Poppy. Have you seen? I know you know Salt Poppy.
Yeah,
have you seen Slim?
No, I don't think so.
Slim is like 5-0, knocking out everyone. But him and Poppy were at a similar rate. Slim went down a few pounds, but it's like 5 to 7 pounds. And Salt Poppy's been cutting weight, so they would fight. That's a big fight. I put KSI Jake Paul on there. That's the big fight.
Honestly, KSI Jake Paul is like the biggest boxing fight. Like it's sad, but like I can't think of another 2 fighters in a boxing match.
I say Garcia,
sell
Davis.
More pay-per-views than that. Maybe Joshua and Fury, Canelo and Davis or something. I don't know. Something like that. Maybe Ryan Garcia versus Canelo. I don't know.
Conor McGregor and Jake Paul.
Yeah, it would have to be like Conor McGregor and somebody. I don't know. I think KSI. I don't know. Conor McGregor. Yeah, Conor McGregor and Jake Paul probably do crazy. No, the press conferences would be.
That'd be the best thing ever. I would pay so much money. I thought this Diaz one was going to be good. I guess because Diaz has that case going on.
Yeah, and it was. I thought it was good when he just left. That was fun.
So
that was really funny. Where he's like, I'm and
then he came back.
Jake's like, where's he go? He's like, where'd he go?
He had to use the bathroom. He had to take a quick bathroom break. But yeah, I put KSI versus a Nissan Gib. They used to be sparring partners. They're still pretty buddy. But it's that Kingpin tournament I was talking about. I think Gibbs gonna win that. But I think those two will fight. That'd be a great fight for KSI. He just needs someone who. Similar age, decent experience, who's not afraid, stuff like that. Deji and Joe Weller. Joe Weller was like an OG.
Did KSI fight him first?
Yeah, he fought him first. He's been inactive for years, but it'd be great to have a throwback.
Deji should fight Salt Poppy.
I put that down too.
Fight Salt? Like they all should be fine. I think Salt Poppy's just a good. Like he puts on an exciting fight, and he's got. I think it would sell.
I agree. I put Jake versus Logan too.
I don't know.
Because they always talk about.
I think it would do good.
Yeah.
Like sells, but. I don't want to see those 2 bums fight.
No, I don't think. I thought
just like hugs people. It's so annoying.
I think what's gonna happen is once Jake runs out of fights, if that happens, that's gonna be that.
If they ever have to do it, yeah.
I put FaZe Temper versus Alex Wasabi. That'd be a great fight. And then Fusi Tube or Fusi.
Isn't Alex Wasabi the dude that Sneeko called out?
Probably.
Okay.
Are you thinking maybe Hasanabi?
Oh, Hassan. Yeah, Hassan.
You're thinking of like the big streamer, right?
No, that's that. I know what you're talking about. Dear Jordy or whatever.
No, True Jordy.
Jordy. No. Sneeko called out. Maybe no. It was the dude from Young Terps, Hassan.
Yeah, Hasanabi. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Alex
He's not swole though.
He's a big guy.
No, I'm thinking of somebody else different. This guy I'm thinking.
I guess maybe not swole's the right word, but he's
jacked.
He's like probably 50, 60 pounds bigger than Sneeko.
Really?
Yeah.
You thinking of the same guy?
Yeah.
Hassan.
Glasses.
Yeah, he does. He's like a super liberal.
Yeah, they always call him Lasanabi on Fresh and Fit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He's a big guy. I also put Fusi and Bryce Hall. That'd be a good fight.
Okay.
What about you?
I do think KSI and Jake Paul definitely need to happen.
That's gonna happen. That needs to happen next year.
And then I think Salt Poppy KSI would do good.
That'd be great.
Like within his niche, I think that would be like the. I think they should find something for Salt Poppy. I think even though he just lost, I think he's pretty entertaining.
He lost to a pro fighter, and because his last 2 opponents was somewhat pro. He had an MMA fight, but it was a YouTuber. But it was a technical YouTuber, and then one prior was a guy named Andy Worski, and he's never fought in his life. So I think it was too early for him to fight Anthony Taylor, just because he has that pro background. I always say it's hard to beat experience at the end of the day, even though you've heard some. Picking traditional boxers versus influencers is very different. Yeah. So when it comes to experience in the influencer scene, that matters a lot more than versus pro to an extent. But yeah. So I think Salt Poppy and Deji would be good. I think that'd be a good matchup. I think Salt Poppy needs a confidence fight or a booster fight that's like semi difficult, but it can go either way. But I think Deji and Salt Poppy would be a main event. That would do numbers. Do you have anything else to say?
No, that's it.
Alrighty, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know this was a long episode, but don't worry. We will be having clips and sections and stuff like that coming out for you guys. So if you weren't able to watch the whole episode, you'll see the clips soon. If you were able to, I appreciate you guys sticking around for this. Do us a favor if you stuck around. Leave a like right now. Subscribe down below. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are on the screen and down below. And comment down below who do you think is going to win, Tommy and KSI, Nate, and Jake, all the fights we talked about, Spence, Crawford. Who do you guys want to see fight in the influencer scene and in the traditional scene? Other than that, guys, I'm Tom. This is Sean, and we'll see you guys next episode. Adios. Take care.